Here are the 30 habits that changed my life forever. Now grab a notebook and write down 5 of the habits that you are going to start implementing into your life. Habit number 1. No more negotiating with myself in the morning. The first decision of the day is the most important. This is where you need to prioritize automatic execution. Now the first of everything changes everything. What you do first thing in the morning sets you up for the day. The first months of the year sets you up for the rest. And everything you do at the start of anything changes everything. Those are the things that matter the most. The way you start your deep work block, the first thing you do in the morning, the way you start your year. So make the first decision of the day the best possible decision. And then ask yourself, does this align with where I want to be? Habit number 2, making my bed like somebody important is watching. This isn't just about being clean, but this reflects how you think. It reflects who you are from an identity perspective. Now, the version of yourself you want to be, they are going to be tidy, on time, clean, prompt. They're going to make fast decisions, and they're going to aim to show up every single day as the version of themselves that they respect. Now, to get to that level that you want to be, to get to that identity, you're going to have to change the way you do things. So start by acting like somebody important was watching. Like there's a film crew that is walking around filming you. What would you change? What would you keep the same? And what would you do differently? Habit number 3, setting a minimum day standard. This is a bad day protocol. This is basically a list of non-negotiables, aka habits, that you could do any day. Even on your worst day, even when you're not feeling like it, even when something else comes up. You can still show up and do these habits. And these are the habits that keep your identity. This is the identity anchor. Now you need this bad day protocol to keep yourself in check on those days where identity tends to fall off. On those days where the work feels hard, where habits feel inconsistent. On the days where it's easy to slip up, you have a bad day protocol that helps you get back into it. Habit number 4, this is incredible. This one thing has literally changed my life. And this is delaying my first dopamine hit of the day at least 2 hours after waking up. This includes no phone, no scrolling, no music, nothing stimulating at least 2 hours after waking. You need to earn your reward. So what happens when you reward yourself first thing in the morning, when you pick up your phone, when you start scrolling, you're setting yourself up for a wrong day. And also you're training your dopamine system to see rewards as the default. You're telling your brain that phone, scrolling, being highly stimulated, doing very fun activities is the norm. But in reality, working on your business, doing deep work, doing the habits, going outside, living life naturally, that is supposed to be the norm. Habit number 5, finishing what I start. This includes small things, big things. Whatever I start, I make it a habit to just finish it. Because self-trust is built in tiny completions. Your brain understands and registers when you actually finish something. And this has to do with just closing open loops. You know, the bill unpaid, the conversation unfinished, the person you wanted to talk to but you didn't talk to, the thing left undone, the idea that you didn't execute, the action that you didn't take, that person whose number you didn't get. These are open loops. Now, open loops, they stack up in your mind and they drain your mental energy without you even realizing. So think about every single open loop that you have in your life, anything that's been on your mind that you know you have to finish and complete, but you just haven't, and just make it a habit to close those open loops, to get them out of the way and cross them off. Habit number 6, replacing I will try with I will or I won't. You see, there is no maybe, there is yes or no. And the moment you understand that is the moment you start to make better decisions. This removes every mental loophole and it gives you a very clear answer. Don't say maybe, don't say I'm gonna try. Either know that you're gonna follow through and do it, and you do. This means keeping promises you make with yourself. Or you know you're not gonna be able to do it, so you just don't say anything. Never make a promise that you can't keep. Never ever make any single promise, big or small, that you can't follow through. Now, reason being is your subconscious mind is always listening. Your subconscious mind is always there. So anything like that registers as distrust. If you have this track record of saying something and doing something else, of not keeping your promises, you say you go to the gym, but you don't go to the gym. You say you're gonna do this, finish the project, but you just push it off for weeks. And you just have this like time and time again. You say something and you do something else. The moment you start telling yourself, I want to be successful, I want to achieve greatness, I want to get to this milestone and this goal, your brain doesn't trust you. And because your brain doesn't trust you, you're not going to get there. So it starts by building self-trust, by keeping the promises you make yourself. If you know for a fact that you're not going to be able to do it, don't even say that you're going to do it. Don't even say that you're going to try. Only say that you will do something that you know 100% with confidence that you will be able to follow through. Habit number 7, tracking my time honestly for 7 days. For 7 days, I wrote down every single thing I did, every minute I spent my time. Literally, like, what did I do from 7:45 to 8 p.m.? What did I do from 5 p.m. to 5:05 p.m.? Now, this is crucial because it changed everything. It changed the way I see time. I started timing everything, timing the time it takes to respond and engage with my school community, Discipline OS, the time it takes to film a video, the time it takes to edit and make a video, the time it takes to coach my one-on-one clients, and the time for absolutely everything. And then I realized that the things that I thought were taking longer, they didn't actually take that long. If I actually put my mind to something, I could achieve a 3-hour task in just an hour and a half, and sometimes even 1 hour, which means there was a lot of time waste, a lot of inefficiencies. And these inefficiencies were draining my mental energy. They were making me feel like I was working more than I was. And at the end, I was getting the result of the efficient time working. So I felt like I was doing so much, but seeing such little results. And mentally, that put me at a roadblock and a plateau where I wasn't able to continue. And I just felt like I was stuck, and I felt like it was super hard to just keep pushing forward. But as soon as I started tracking my time honestly, you start to see where your life, where your time, where your energy actually goes. You start to see all of the leaks, all of the inefficiencies. And if you find the leaks, then you can fix the bucket and then pour water in. Why would you pour water into a bucket that has leaks in it? If it has holes in it, then the more water you pour in, the more water is going to go out. So first, make sure the bucket has no holes, no leaks, and then start filling as much as you want. Habit number 8, resetting my environment daily. External order creates internal control. So this includes everything from clean to ventilate to make my bed. Everything that is going to make my environment help me succeed instead of holding me back. If your desk has so much clutter and you just have random things on your desk that are just going to distract you, you have your phone, you have tabs, you have email notifications, everything is just like waiting to find the right moment to take you out of the flow state. If that's the case, you're never going to be able to build real focus. You're going to need to create your environments in such a way that they're simple, one-sided, and no distractions. Your environment is everything, and I'm not just talking about, physical environment. I'm talking about mental environment, the people you spend time with, the content you consume, the music you listen to, the food you eat, where you spend your time. All of these things are your inputs, and if you have negative inputs, you're going to get a negative output. So first, fix your input, which means resetting your environment daily. Habit number 9. Not watching content I wouldn't pay for. You need to raise your mental standards for what content you consume. You see, the content you consume shapes you. So if you're watching anything and everything, it's just low standards, which is going to lead to low inputs and low outputs. Now, if you want to be a high vibrational individual, you want to achieve success, you are going to need to monitor what you are consuming. Now ask yourself, with every piece of content, if you wouldn't pay for this content, doesn't matter how much, but if you wouldn't pay for this piece of content, then don't watch it. If it's worth your time, it better be good, because your time is money. And the moment you start realizing that, if you take all the time that you waste over a whole year, it is going to come to like 1,000 hours. If you waste 2 hours every single day, after 1 year, that is already 700 hours, 700 plus hours. Now, if you took 700 hours and you put it into a business, you would have something up and running. If you took 700 hours to learn any skill, you would become pretty good at the skill. Now, the 2 hours a day, they don't seem like much, but when they stack up over the long run, the compound effect kicks in, and you realize that yes, even small things matter. Habit number 10, asking, would my future self do this? To live a more successful life, you need to make more successful decisions. So every time you need to make a decision, you need to ask yourself, what would my future self do? Would my future self say yes or no? And acting from that level, from that identity. To get the results you want, to become successful, you need to embody the identity of the successful version of yourself. If you're thinking about investing in yourself, there's a side of you that says, I shouldn't invest in myself, and then there's a side of you that says, I should. Now think about this. Is the millionaire version of yourself going to be scared to invest in yourself? Probably not. And that's your answer. You need a level of personal accountability, like a big brother watching over your shoulder. You need to catch yourself in those moments where you need to make decisions, and make sure that you're making decisions from the future version of yourself, from that identity that you want to be. To get the results of that identity, you need to embody that person. So those were the first 10 habits. Comment down below one of the habits that you are going to start implementing into your life. Habit number 11, doing one hard thing before noon. You see, momentum beats motivation every single time, and what you do first matters. The nighttime, the evening time, the later you go into the day, the less work you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to grind through the night. The morning is where you have the most optimal hormones for work, for focus, for exercise. At night, you're supposed to just relax. You're supposed to reduce your cortisol, wind down so you can sleep. What most people do is throughout the day, they're just not productive. They don't do hard things. And then when it comes 6 p.m., 7 p.m., all of a sudden they're thinking to themselves, I didn't really do what I wanted to do. So they need to catch up. 7, 8, 9, even 11 p.m., they're still working, because they feel the need to do more to catch up. And because of that, come the next day, they're tired, they're drained, they're unproductive throughout the day because they didn't allow themselves that recovery and the rest. So they're just stuck in the same cycle of being unproductive throughout the day. So they feel the need to overcompensate throughout the night, which leaves them feeling even more unproductive the next day. To break out of this cycle, you need to do hard things at the start. You need to take everything hard, all the tasks, all the things that are gonna level you up and get you to where you wanna be, and put them first thing in the morning. When you wake up, start with the habits, a couple of habits to keep your mind clear, to keep your identity sharp, and then start and do the deep work and be productive and just tick off all of the big tasks. Just finish one task, full focus, and then move on to the next. Start something, finish it, and then move on. Don't multitask. Don't start something halfway and then try to do something else. And now you have 2 tasks that are open, and then you can't finish either one, so you start another thing, and now you have 3 things that you're juggling. You want to move forward sequentially. Focus on one thing, finish it, do the next, do the next. That is the only way to build real focus and achieve success. Habit number 12, training even when it feels pointless. You see, discipline is built in invisible reps, in the things that you can't see. The consistent hard work, it stacks invisible advantages until the world sees everything all at once and then calls you lucky. You can skip once, but never skip twice. You see, once is a mistake, twice becomes a habit. If you skip a workout 2 times in a row, that's when your brain starts to think it's okay. And if it thinks it's okay to skip a workout, then it must mean that it's okay to skip something else, like your work. And then you start skipping your work, your workout, your healthy meals, and you start going down this downward spiral. Instead, you want to make the rule of never miss twice. Train, show up to the gym, show up to life, show up to your deep work, even when you don't feel like it. But showing up is what is going to get you to where you want to be. Habit number 13, removing most of my options. The more options you have, the more your brain has to think about what you're going to do. We all remember the menu in the restaurant where there's 1,000 options, and there's so much variety that you literally don't know what to choose from. And because of that, you end up choosing some random thing and it's not what you wanted and your experience is not satisfactory. So instead, remove choices from your life. Fewer choices equals more execution. This ties to your environments and your distractions. If you're going for a walk and you have your earphones in and you have your phone and you have like your Apple Watch, now you have 3 things to do instead of just walking. You could walk and scroll, walk and listen to a podcast, listen to music, walk and check your phone 5 times. Or if you leave those things at home, if you leave your phone and you're just walking and you have nothing, now you have no options. You just walk to walk. You know, you just walk and you can only do one thing, which is walk. The same thing with deep work. You want to make your environment in such a way that you have no options besides doing the work that you have to do. On your phone, you should make it so that you have no options, like using Screen Zen, a screen blocker, or just like removing unnecessary apps. So when you're on your phone, you have less options to get distracted, less options to choose from to scroll. This makes it so much easier to achieve success, to focus more, to be a better person. Removing options is very, very good. Habit number 14, scheduling boredom on purpose. Boredom equals thinking, and mastering boredom is going to get you the success. You see, the more bored you are, the more you lower your dopamine baseline. The lower your dopamine baseline, the more things become enjoyable. The higher your dopamine baseline, the more things are boring. If you take the same tasks like reading, journaling, meditating, exercising, and deep work, all of these 5 things and tasks, you know, maybe they're hard to do. The higher your dopamine baseline is, the harder they're going to be to do. The same tasks are just going to be harder and like there's going to be more friction, more resistance. And you're just going to feel like, why should I do this? But the lower your dopamine baseline, the more you master boredom, the more you allow yourself to destimulate. Those 5 exact same tasks, they're just going to be way easier to do. And you're actually going to find yourself looking forward to them. You're going to be thinking to yourself, you know, the reading, like, I actually like to read. I actually love to exercise. I actually love to go for walks. Running makes me feel good. It makes me get out of my head. And you're going to start enjoying the things that are actually good for you. And that's where everything changes. Boredom equals thinking, allowing yourself to think more. And the more you think, the more money you make. You see, thinking is the most leveraged thing you can do because you solve problems as they come. So schedule boredom. Let yourself be bored. Now we're almost halfway there. Don't forget to subscribe and also implement the things that you're actually writing down. Don't let this be just another video that you watch and forget. Let this be the video that changes your life. Habit number 15, keeping most of my goals to myself. You see, not everybody deserves to see your vision and most people won't even understand anyway. You don't need to say anything. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to like talk about your goals, but you just need to take the action so that eventually people see for themselves. Seeing something is way more powerful than hearing about it. You know, if you see something, that's physical evidence and that's something to trust. So keep your goals to yourself, do the work in silence, just grind away, do what you have to do, be consistent, stay disciplined, and eventually the world is going to see what you've built. Discipline is boring until you see what it builds. Habit number 16, measuring output and not effort. You see, you can't control the output. You can't control what happens. You can't control, you know, how many clients you get, but you can control the work that you put in. You can control if you show up. You can control how long you work every day, how good your work is, how productive you are. Why would you focus on the things that you cannot control? Instead, focus on all the things that you can. You see, effort feels good, results matter, and everything else is just fake productivity. You know, everything you think, you just need to identify your top 5 tasks, and everything else is like, it's useless. You don't even need to be spending time doing it anyway. Whatever does not move the needle, the 80% that creates only 20% of the results, it has to go. Only do high leverage tasks, needle moving things that either make you more money, make you the person who makes more money, make your life better, improve yourself, make you more productive, more focused, and more happy. Anything else, anything that doesn't improve your health, wealth, or relationships has to go. So measure input, measure the things you can control because that's the only thing that matters. The outputs will come as a result, as a byproduct of putting in the work. You will be successful because you put in the work for that long, for years. Habit number 17, setting uncomfortable deadlines. You see, pressure equals clarity. And if you think about it, diamonds are made under pressure, right? Pressure makes diamonds. And it's the same way with you and your goals. The more pressure there is, the more you're going to have urgency. And the more urgency, the more you're going to take action. And of course, the more action you take, the more results you see. There was once a task that I knew took me 3 weeks to do. And that's because I've done it before and it took me 3 weeks to do. And I told myself, I'm going to finish this 3-week task in one single day. Now, what happened? What was the result? I ended up finishing the task in 4 days. Now, 4 days is a lot better than 3 weeks. Of course, it wasn't one day, but I set myself such a tight deadline that I just took 4 times more action. I was that much more productive and more focused. So take your 5-year goals and ask yourself, how can I achieve them in 1 year? What do I have to do every day to get to my 5-year vision in one single year, maybe even in 6 months? Take your 6-month goals and ask yourself, how do I achieve this in 4 weeks? This thinking is going to change your life. If you give yourself 3 days to clean your home, it's going to take 3 days. If you give yourself 3 weeks, it is going to take 3 weeks. Habit number 18, rest more, work less, and leverage more. Sleeping less is not a flex. Working for 14 hours a day is also not a flex. You need to be leveraged. You can still sleep a very good sleep. You can have good sleep. You can also spend time, hanging out with friends, spend time doing the things that make you feel good, but then also work properly. Like, you don't have to work harder. Hard work does not equal success. It is the right work, the right energy, the right intentions, and working on the right things that is going to make you rich. Working on the right things is going to make you get the result. Hard work doesn't equal success. The right work equals success. You could work for hours every single day on the wrong thing, the wrong tasks, the tasks that just don't do anything, and you won't get the result. Or you can only work on the high leveraged, high needle moving tasks and get the result. Now, the choice is yours. You need to sacrifice something to get what you want, but you can easily sacrifice the scrolling. You can sacrifice the inefficient working. You can give up the parties. You can give up the time wasted, the procrastination. And you certainly don't have to give up the relationships, the health, the wealth. And you shouldn't give up on the things that actually make your life better. Habit number 19, working without feeling ready. Most people lose themselves in the process of needing to feel a certain way before doing something. They need to feel ready before starting the project. They need to feel prepared. They need to feel smart. They need to feel intelligent. They need to feel like they have enough experience. And it's a cycle of, you need to feel like you have enough experience to get started, but you also need to get started to get that experience that you need. It's like applying for a job after you get out of college. Like, you don't have work experience, which is why most jobs won't take you, but you need those jobs to get work experience to get the job, It's like this cycle. You need to just break out of the cycle and just get experience in your life. Start without feeling ready. You're not going to learn how to swim by reading about water. People are afraid to start. I say, let the chips fall where they may. I say, just do the work, just start, and then see what happens. It's literally not that deep, bro. Habit number 20, keeping promises I make to myself like they are contracts. I imagine every single promise I make like a contract that I sign with myself. I take this seriously. I once accidentally told my girlfriend that I was gonna go to the gym. We were just talking. She was like, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, I'm going to the gym. I said I was gonna go to the gym that day, and then it was like 8 or 9 p.m. and I didn't go to the gym yet, and I just had dinner. My stomach was full. I never go so super late to the gym. I only train in the day. And this was like every single circumstance was like against me going to the gym. But I said it and I put it out there, so I had to just show up. And these promises matter like nothing else. If you break too much of these and these contracts and these promises you make to yourself, then nothing is going to work anymore. Even small and meaningless things, anything you say, anything that you say out of your mouth that comes out, any words, they have to be respected. There is a reason why they call it spelling, because your words cast spells. Your subconscious mind is always listening. So this is actually a different kind of video style than the videos I usually make. So if you actually like this more than the usual ones, then comment down below. I'm really curious to see, how people respond to this new video. I think it's cool, and we'll see. Habit number 21. Thinking in terms of ROI, not time. Ask yourself and think to yourself, is this worth it? It doesn't matter how long it takes. In terms of energy and mental capacity, is this thing I'm about to do, is it worth my time? Is it going to get me more money or more enjoyment to the point where it's actually going to be worth anything I invest? If you invest in anything, you need to ask yourself, is there a positive return on investment? If the projection or expectancy for a return on investment is not in your favor, then you wouldn't even take the step. Same thing with investing money, investing time. It's all the same principle. You invest your energy, you invest your time. Every time you talk to people, every time you choose to do something, every time you choose to go out to do something, you're investing time, energy, and money as well. These are all resources that will either make you successful in 5 years or that will make you not where you want to be in 5 years. If you use these resources wisely, time, money, and energy, then you will achieve what you want to achieve. Habit number 22, spending time daily building something that pays me. This is not consuming, this is creating. This is not scrolling, this is editing or scripting for me. For me, the number one task, the highest leverage task I can do is create content, because the more content I make, the better content I make, the more people see my channel, see my stuff, the more people join Discipline OS, which is my paid community, the more people sign up for my mentorship, and the more I'm able to reinvest and make these videos. And it honestly bothers me when people are against like people making money, like content creators. You need to understand that there would be no videos if I'm not able to make a living out of this. Like these videos that you like to watch, they wouldn't even be here if I'm not able to have this as a business. So that's just something like when you see people, you know, talking about their join my private community or join my mentorship, like there's a reason people do that. It is the only way to continue doing this stuff. And it's also a way to help people on a much, much deeper level than these videos alone. Habit number 23, focusing on one high income skill. I focused on one single high income skill, which is video creation, content creation. For 2 years straight, 3 years straight, I just focused on this one thing: editing, filming, making better content, improving my aesthetics, my style, you know, thinking better, making better, doing it faster, making good videos, improving hooks, improving structure, improving all this stuff. This all falls under one high income skill, which is content creation. And just focusing all my time and attention on this one thing has allowed me to achieve my dream life. It has allowed me to be able to make, you know, my passion, and like I literally read and I learn and I apply with myself and I teach it to others. I've been living and embodying discipline for the last 5 years of my life, and now I'm teaching it through videos, and this is my passion. This makes me whole, this makes me complete, and that is the power of focusing on one high income skill. You see, debt is a byproduct of distraction, but it often comes later in life. You only find out about the negative consequences of something when it is already too late. That is why you need to prevent something bad before it happens. Habit number 24, thinking who I take advice from. If they don't have the life you want, don't take advice from them. It's simple. You see, a person that has no results equals no trust. Ask yourself, would I trade places with this person? Would I live their life? Would I, you know, for a day just be in their shoes? If the answer is no, then don't take advice from them. And the hard truth is that could be your parents, that could be family, that could be, you know, some friends. And that's just how it is. Only take advice from people who are where you want to be. Habit number 25, treating my attention like money. It takes time to make money. It takes time and hours to do something that is eventually going to pay you. If you offer a service and you need to get a client, it's going to take you a certain amount of hours to, you know, do a certain number of outreaches to then get one client to pay you. When it comes back to the foundation and the fundamentals of everything, time is money. And actually, time is the most important thing, because if I told you you could have all the money in the world, but you wouldn't be able to wake up tomorrow, you wouldn't take it. And that shows you that your time, your life is way more valuable than any amount of money, which means you should actually treat it like that. The only reason you waste your time is because you don't yet have the perspective of time is the most valuable thing. You wouldn't waste money, you wouldn't throw money, you wouldn't spend money on random things, right? So in that case, why would you throw your time and waste your time on random things? Time is money. Habit number 26, not waiting to feel ready to monetize. I could have easily said, I'm going to wait and keep uploading YouTube videos, and then I'll create my paid community, you know, in 3 years when I'm ready. But I decided to make that step right now. This was 9 months ago when I created Discipline OS. I decided to make my private community and then find out the next steps. You get ready by doing, you know, by launching your store, by launching the first product, by creating your brand, building your business, getting that first client. That's how you're going to be ready. You'll never be ready otherwise. If you keep waiting for the right moment, it's never going to come. You need that first product, that MVP, to get feedback, to improve the product, to make it better. Habit number 27, speed to lead. In today's world, most people are slow. 99% of people, they take a long time to make decisions. They take ages to just get their mind to do something. They procrastinate, they don't execute fast. In the world of marketing, speed to lead is a common concept where if you get a lead, if you get a contact, the sooner you reach out to them, the more fresh with emotions they are and the better the results. If somebody's a lead, they show interest in your product or service, and you message them after 3 weeks, they've lost interest. So you need to be fast, you need to move with urgency, and that is going to change everything. When I have people who want to sign up to my coaching or my community, and they tell me I need till Monday to think about it, like I think to myself, from now, like maybe it's Saturday till Monday, I could do so many things, I could achieve so much in that short amount of time that like at that time, it won't even matter anymore. Like so much could happen in like just a couple of days, so much could happen till Monday. Like I understand this because I started to move with speed. The average person, they can't like fathom how much you can actually achieve in 1 week. But like I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, you know, like 1 week is an amazing amount of time. It's like an astronomical amount of time. Like you could build a whole business from start to finish in literally 1 week if you actually put your mind to it, if you spend the time. Most people talk about their goals and then weeks go by and they've achieved nothing. years go by and they're still in the exact same spot. So unless you want to be like most people, you need to be a fast action taker. You need to have speed to lead. You need to move with urgency and take action fast. Habit number 28, surrounding myself with people ahead of me. If you were the smartest person in any room, you are in the wrong room. You have to be in rooms where you feel challenged, be in rooms where like people are making more money than you, they have better physiques than you, they're smarter than you. They're better communicators than you. What this is gonna do is you always rise to the level of your competition. If you're playing tennis and you're playing with people who don't even know how to hit the ball, then like you're not gonna get any good, are you? But the moment you start playing with people who are actually really good at what they do, at first it's gonna suck, at first it's gonna be hard, but eventually you're gonna start to get really, really good. I trained jiu-jitsu for about 2 years and a half, and the one thing I learned is I started sparring with people who were way better than me. I was a white belt, like sparring with purple belts. And at first I got tapped out so many times, but eventually I started to like learn new things. I started to get way better, faster than other white belts who were just sparring white belts. Of course, there's a time for everything, but like competition shapes you. If you surround yourself and you train with people, like think about any game, any sport, any competition. If you train with people at the top, you are going to get to the top. And you are the sum of the 3 people you spend the most time with. If you hang out with 5 millionaires, you are going to be the 6th millionaire. If you hang out with 5 people who scroll TikTok all day, you're going to be the 6th person who scrolls TikTok all day. You become your environment and your environment shapes you more than you think. Habit number 29, understanding that discipline is the highest paying skill. Anything you want, any metric of success that you want to achieve, if you want to make more money, be in better shape, have a better relationship, whatever goals you want, it comes down to one thing. I have one answer for you: discipline. That is why I make all these videos and I talk about discipline. Discipline is going to get you. It is the key and the bridge that is gonna, first the key that is gonna unlock the doors of success, and the bridge that is gonna allow you to walk over to the other side. To the side where you have the life you want, you have a life that you don't need to escape from. Discipline is the foundation, and everything that is built on a solid foundation is going to last. If you don't have the foundation, you can keep building, but eventually you're gonna fall back to square one. Habit number 30, trusting the process. So this comes from evidence, right? Confidence is built through evidence. When I know that I'm actually doing the work, I know that the actions I take are in alignment with the person I want to become, then that is when I win. I know that I want to be a millionaire, right? I want to be financially free. So if like I'm spending 5 hours a day, watching TikTok, then there's a misalignment, there's a mismatch between where I want to go and what I'm doing. If I want to hit 1 million subs on YouTube and I want to get to the top, then for me, like if I'm spending more time just doing random things, then there's a mismatch and I'm gonna lose self-trust. But the moment the actions I take start to align with that vision, that is when I win. If I'm uploading twice a week, 3 times a week, and I'm scripting and I'm thinking about videos and ideas and I'm filming B-rolls and getting content and thinking about content, that is when it starts to make sense. And that's where the dream that I have becomes less of a wishful thinking and becomes more of an actual reality. Something that I can achieve not in 5 years or 10 years, but in actually like 2 years. Because here's the reality. Most people watching this won't even take action. The 99%, they just don't take action, they don't execute and implement, and they don't apply any of this. But if you want to be part of the top 1%, the type of person who actually wants to build discipline, to use that discipline to build a better physique, to make more money, to eliminate distractions, do the deep work, to focus, to beat procrastination, and to build the life you don't need to escape from, then the next step is simple. Book a call below with our team, and if you're a good fit, we'll build a system around you. So you don't have to rely on motivation, so that action becomes more consistent than ever, so you can predictably reach your income goals, your self goals, and your personal goals. So no more overthinking, no more starting and then stopping, no more, motivation here, motivation there. I'm gonna do it next week. No more inconsistent action, just structure, direction, and progress. Remember, a bad workout will always beat a skipped one. Take care, and you got this.